we're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive. I don't think anybody in my circle understands impossible. Okay, so the next question we had was, how can I stop overeating and start fasting if I can't quit carbs? You know, the interesting thing about this question is, and once again, I did summarize some of these. This might not have been an exact question, but the energy behind this question is somehow you're out of control. You can't control what you put in your mouth. And so the first thing that I want to do is tell you that you are completely in control of what you put in your mouth. Obviously, we all have different financial backgrounds and situations, and so you might not be able to necessarily afford the most luxurious food in the world and import fine goods, but you could choose whether you're going to put a piece of Wonder Bread in your mouth or an apple, right? So you need to regain your clarity and your control, because everything that you do is going to impact you. Like, so we can look, there's no benefit in playing any type of victim card. Like, the professing that we can't do something because there's a force that is disempowering us will never benefit us, ever. It's so if you are looking to get outcomes, you gotta get rid of that ideology. I might want to rephrase this question and say, in spite of the fact that I am dealing with, some type of carb addiction, how can I fast? Sounds like the same question, but the phrasing changes the power structure. I understand this is where I am right now, but here's where I want to go. Help me get to that goal. And that's just a small thing, but it has a big impact. See, life is a game of inches. It's all about like the small steps that you take towards the goal that get you there. The big leaps and bounds that we have at periods of time, they're very motivational, but it's easy to backslide. When you make a lot of progress, it's easy to have that spring back. When you're slowly inching your way there and every step is a for sure step forward, like, I have changed this about me, I've improved this thing about me, it's very, very difficult to backslide. And so that's my first piece of advice, is change your perspective, your thinking, and how you speak. Now, more practical advice could be, you want to start by eliminating processed carbs. A lot of people think that carbs are bad. Carbs are bad, okay? This is why you don't really hear me talk about carbs and protein and all these different things. It's really about how you source your food. Are you eating whole foods, or are you eating processed foods? So what I will tell you to do is eliminate your meat, dairy products, processed foods, refined sugars. Now, meat and dairy products, you don't have to completely eliminate if that's your thing. But what you want to do is you want to increase the quality of your meat and your dairy products. Get the most natural stuff possible, and that will play a big role in your ability to detox. But when it comes to the carbs, yeah, you want whole foods. It's okay to eat carbs if they're whole foods. It only has a good effect, okay? So it's not that you have a problem with carbs. You have a problem with processed carbs or refined carbs. That's where your problem comes in. Healthy fats and fiber will help to reduce your sugar spikes. Obviously, we teach in our preparation to reduce the frequency and the density of the foods to reduce the sugar spikes or the ghrelin spikes. That helps with addiction. That helps with this feeling that you gotta eat something, right? And then, of course, you want to ease your way into what they call time-restricted eating, which is really saying, like, look, I'm going to restrict I'm going to restrict what I eat and when I eat. There's a level of discipline that comes along with that. People don't like the word restriction because restrictions like I can't have. No, it's I am putting to the side so that I can accomplish. Look at restriction as a tool, right? Like there was a time when a woman's chastity was put above many things, right? There was value placed with that. Okay, it is our practice of abnegation that gives value to things that we don't typically look as valuable. When you think about a man with a lot of discipline, usually men who project discipline are revered to some degree. They're looked at in high esteem. So discipline is a good thing, and restriction is a part of discipline. It's like, I can't do this because, I'm being disciplined right now. And so it's something. It's a skill to learn. So look at it as an opportunity to learn a new skill. Look at it as it's not about carbs, it's about refined and processed carbs, and then also increase the quality of food anywhere else. And I think that you'll start seeing success with your eating addiction there. Okay, how do you properly break a fast, and what is refeeding? Okay, so, how do you properly break a fast? By refeeding. So what is refeeding? So refeeding is where you designate a specific period of time after your fast, like right at how you break your fast, where you're going to basically give your body an opportunity to get used to digesting food again. It's no different from when we had those old cars with carburetors and you had to let them warm up before you went out in a winter day. You have to give your body the opportunity to get used to digesting complex meals. So, you can start with a light broth. Some people like vegetable broth. Some people swear by bone broth. You can also do fruit juice or juicy fruit to start your refeed. Me personally, I would say that juicy fruit is probably optimal. When you think about what's the most natural thing for a human being to consume, it's fruit. And so that's what I say would be the optimal thing to digest. It's non-processed, it's prepackaged, it's a complete food product, it's a whole food product. Obviously, the thing that you need to be leery of is overeating, right? So a lot of people deal with overeating in general, and usually we're overeating bad things, but you can also overeat good things, especially when you're coming off of a fast, because just too much food too fast is just not good, right? So there's a couple different tricks that you can do on your refeed to help you with overeating. Number one, you can get a small plate, right? So you have your big normal size plate, some extra size plates, and then you have smaller plates. They're just a little bit bigger than saucers. It's about the size of a plate that you would take with, going camping. You have like your little kit with your eating utensils and stuff. Also, one thing you'll notice about camping plates is you'll find that they come in a specific blue hue. That specific blue hue is actually designed to create a sense of satiety. So the color frequency impacts the brain and the mind and the body, and it actually causes you to become more sated more easily. It decreases your appetite, okay? The color blue. It's very interesting. Oddly enough, you can also use other colors to increase appetite. So think about all of your favorite fast food chains. The mass majority of them use red and yellow because red and yellow increase appetite. And so we have to use some of the psychology to our advantage. So smaller plates, blue hue. When you start eating, especially you have your first plate of food, right? Or whatever, cut up fruit salad, whatever it is. Eat a nice little small portion size and then give yourself 20 minutes to 30 minutes. Digest. Let your body register what you just did. If you're still hungry, you still need something else, then you have your next meal, right? And you eat in increments like that to give your body and your mind an opportunity to sink. Because what happens is we're just used to eating X amount of food. We eat, and the body doesn't even have an opportunity to tell you, hey, I'm full. So now you end up overeating because we eat too fast and we're not mindful about our eating. So that's another good tip. The other thing, too, when you do your refeed, you want to make sure that you are moving your bowels. So you can either look to get yourself some of the SP6 phototherapy patches to help make sure that your bowels are moving properly coming off of your fast. or you could use something like castor oil to make sure that you're moving your bowels. You could also use an Epsom salt solution, which is basically a laxative to help make sure you're moving your bowels. So you can use a castor oil to drink or a castor pack. Then you can use your Epsom salt, take it by mouth as a laxative. You can use the SP6 patch, which helps to stimulate gut motility and digestion. And then, of course, if you stick with the high water content fruits and vegetables, that'll help keep things from getting stuck. But these are just some tips. So you want to make sure you eat right. You want to keep those bowels moving, and you want to fast. When you do your refeed, if you want a number, you want to refeed for about a third of the time that you're fasting. If you fast for 21 days, water only, you're going to do about a 7-day refeed. Okay, so that's kind of how you do that, and that's the refeed. Okay, what should you do if you break your fast improperly and you feel sick? All right, so obviously we talked about what to do if, when you break your fast so you don't feel sick. But we're humans, right? We make mistakes. Number one, as I mentioned earlier, you want to get the bowels moving. Typically, if you feel sick or ill, usually you have something going on inside that needs to come out, right? So if you do a nice flush, you'll usually feel better fairly quickly. You could do a water enema. You can schedule a colonic, which would be better than an enema, but once again, just depends on your resources and what you have available. Or you could do one of the laxatives that we mentioned by mouth, or you could do a castor pack, right? These are all ways to help to move the bowels and help ease you off. You can also use like a peppermint essential oil. You want to use a therapeutic grade peppermint essential oil. We like to use doTERRA. You can use a Young Living or a local shop that home makes the oils. You can use that. And you put a couple drops of peppermint oil in your water. You drink that. You could do lemon with your water. One thing I will say, if you do start feeling bad on a refeed, not eating is probably the best course of action in the immediate future. Or if you eat, it's like soup, it's smoothies, it's fresh fruit, it's light, okay? So those are all great tools. Obviously, if you have like other specific things you guys want to know and understand, I would say join one of our communities, right? Join AHA communities. Hey guys, I just came off a refeed. I didn't do a good job with it. I'm feeling XYZ. What can I do? And then that way you can ask a specific question about certain things. But in general, you want to flush your system, maybe put a castor pack on, get a good night's rest, drink lots of water, hydrate well, a little peppermint in your water. These are all great tools for making sure this doesn't happen, or you can kind of help it subside. You could even do like some warm water or something like that, some warm tea to help soothe the stomach. You just got to rest and give your body time. A lot of times people kind of want to hyperreact. They think that it's more than what it is. It's like, just give your body time, rest, and things will get better. Okay, what is the best way to prepare for refeeding after a fast? Well, obviously plan ahead, right? We talked about that earlier. People don't plan to fail. They just fail to plan. So when you look at your fast, when we teach fasting as a 3-part process. You have your preparation, you have the fasting cycle, whatever you choose, and you have your refeed. That is a fast. That is your fast, right? So the question is, if you look at those elements, you're gonna start with, well, what kind of fast do you want to do, right? You want to lose X amount of weight in a certain amount of days. That might help determine what kind of fast you want to do. All right, now you know what kind of fast you want to do. There's different preparations that we recommend depending on the fast. We talked a little bit about some of it, right? The liver gallbladder flush, the 7-day prep guide. But for most fasts, we just recommend your 7-day prep guide. Okay, if you guys do a one-on-one with me, I might recommend a 14-day. We might do some specific detoxes beforehand, but general rule of thumb, 7-day prep. So now you're doing your 7-day prep. Let's say you do a 7-day fast. The way you want to prepare for your refeed is, number one, you want to make sure to clear out of your easy access, your line of sight, all of the foods you know you're not going to have. So your processed foods, your refined sugars, your dairy products. You probably don't want to have any of those on your refeed. If you have meat, once again, make sure it's a high quality meat and make sure you have small quantities of meat. Just get all that stuff out of the way. Throw it away, give it away, get it out of the house, whatever you need to do. Don't be around it, because why tempt yourself? Okay? If you're a DoorDasher or an Uber Eats person, delete the app from your phone for that period of time. That shows intention, that shows integrity, and it shows accountability. All right? You're just going to make it very difficult for yourself to get a hold of that bad stuff. As you are getting ready to come off your fast, what you want to do is make sure to have the good stuff easily available. Make sure the fruits and vegetables are available. Make sure you've got some raw food recipes available. Make sure that you are properly prepared, right? Like, you understand how you need to refeed. We just went over that. Make sure you've got the tools available to do that. Maybe if you can't cook, you can get like a some type of food delivery service. They'll deliver raw food. They'll deliver, vegan options, vegetarian options, whatever you're looking for. And so that's the way that I would approach it as far as preparing for your refeed. You want to start with the end in mind. So what is the fast you want to do? What's the preparation you need to do? And then how do you need to come off of that? Like, how many days of refeed do you need to do? What type of foods do you need to have ready? What type of foods you need to avoid? Do all of that at the beginning, and then you don't got to worry about like trying to get it together at the last minute. Last question here for this section is, should I start a probiotic or prebiotic after 30 days of fasting or during the fasting? Doing a probiotic and a prebiotic before the fast, during the fast, after the fast, it's all a good idea, honestly. Obviously, it depends on what format you're taking this stuff in, whether you're going to be doing it during the fast, after the fast, before the fast. But I'll say this. We have a very good relationship with the Root Wellness brands. They have a product called Restore. I highly recommend Restore before the fast, during the fast, after the fast. You could take it if you're doing a water fast, a juice fast, a mono fast, a fruit fast. If you're doing a dry fast, you don't use it, okay? But pretty much any other type of fast, you can use this probiotic. It's a probiotic prebiotic. It helps to open up elimination pathways, so it helps to benefit us as we're fasting so that we don't get detox symptoms, we don't feel ill, we don't feel sick, we have a better experience. Then we're nourishing the microgut biome, and it's a holistic approach to nourishing the gut. And when you're fasting, and you're just giving the body exactly what it needs, you get results much more quickly. There's not a whole bunch of other stuff in there mucking it up. And also, you know exactly how your body's going to respond. Then when you come off your fast, you're coming off with a strong internal environment, and then you're going to give your body the fresh fruits and vegetables and the things we kind of talked about before. It's going to help to enrich the body, mineralize the body, and you're just going to have an incredible experience. And because you're taking care of your gut, you're going to think more clearly, you're going to have better instincts, you're going to get better outcomes in life, everything's going to feel and look and seem better. So that is what I would highly recommend if you guys are going to be using probiotics and prebiotics. Source it well, right? Like I said, the Root Wellness brand, Restore, that's my personal favorite. It is incredible. For the coaches and the people in my life that have really poor digestion, slow digestion, they swear by it. It's great to take with a colonic or enema, and it aids tremendously with your fasting. We've tested it during our fasting cycles, so we know that it's not going to take you out of ketosis. It's not going to have a negative impact on your fasting results, but it will help bolster the release of toxins. And so any of the products and things I've mentioned here, I will be leaving links in the description for you guys.